Hoopheads North and Hip Hoop Junkies, we are very proud and very happy to be here with none other than Jerome Williams. Yes, sir. 9-year NBA veteran, currently Toronto Raptor, legend ambassador, and also NBA community ambassador as well. Welcome to Halifax once again. Glad to have. Yes. JYD.
Fourth time. This is
wow.
A four-time Halifax connoisseur, lobster, scallops. We're bringing it all from Nova Scotia, the Bay. We're getting it done, Atlantic Ocean.
Now, we saw right yesterday that you were at Peggy's Cove, so I'm sure that's probably not the first time that you were there either.
That actually was the first time. That was Peggy's Cove. I had to, I've been here. This is my fourth time. They said, "You haven't been to Peggy's Cove?" I was like, "What's that?" They said, "The dog pound is deep in Peggy's Cove. They got like 4 or 5 acres between each home. So that's how deep we are."
See, I like that. Representing all over Nova Scotia. Now, you're here representing NBA Nation, again here representing for the community and representing the brand and representing what basketball is all about. Just tell us now that you're, no longer playing on the court, what it's like to be a part of the NBA in such a, a unique and cool way that a lot of people really would never get to see.
Well, the fun thing about the NBA and being a former player and, for me, a fan favorite is that I've had the unique opportunity to travel the world, travel the globe, talking about the sport of basketball, sharing my experiences of a player and, now having been a coach of high school basketball and that sort of thing. So it's just a lot of fun to hook up with NBA Nation because they keep the fans engaged at this point with, social media and everything. Fans just want involvement from some of their favorite stars, past and present. And when they have the opportunity to interact with the dog pound, the dog has to show up. So I was glad that NBA Canada, got me on the phone, was like, "Look, got to come back to Halifax. The dog pound up there is barking loud. They're like, we want JYD. So I said, no problem, hopped on the private jet, which happens to be like Southwest. No, it's Air Canada.
That's right.
Yeah.
Southwest when you fly.
When I fly in U.S., yeah.
That's right.
So Air Canada and hop on the, private Air Canada jet, get here. And, I have a whole host full of fans down there. We're going to have a lot of fun. You got so many things that they can do at NBA Nation. Right. I mean, let's talk about it. You got the Skills Challenge by Samsung. You got the Sprite Slam Dunk. Right. You got Adidas Q&A with me, the dog.
That's what we want.
Come on. That's what people really, get the behind the scenes.
Let's be real with it, right?
Back alley commentary of what really took place in the NBA during my career and how I see it moving forward. I mean, it's just where it's at right now.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, let's just jump into that right off the bat. You've been with the Toronto Raptors organization since 2000, and realistically, you've seen the growth of Canadian basketball almost from the get-go. You've coached a lot of players at Finley Prep. You've seen these guys come up. Right. So what is your take on Canada basketball and how the town has continued to, just grow year after year?
Wow, it's phenomenal. Just watching and being a part of Canada basketball from player development standpoint and seeing a lot of those players at a very young age. I remember meeting Corey Joseph and Tristan Thompson during my days playing here as a Raptor. And then by me moving out to Henderson, Nevada, and then seeing them again at Finley Prep and having an opportunity to help them and do player development with them there and see them grow throughout their career, it's just been an awesome experience. And then after them, the likes of Anthony Bennett and Justin Jackson and some of the other Canadians, Mike Kabongo, that have been through that program, it's just been awesome to be able to, just help young players in their development. It's very difficult, as everybody knows, to have the opportunity to play in the NBA. That's right. And to get a long-lasting career, that's even more difficult. So I just try to, continue this movement of great Canadians being able to come out here and do their thing.
Yeah, so when you talk about like the Canada basketball and working with like Tristan and Corey, did those guys those young Canadian kids that kind of watched the Raptors like in the 90s when you were playing with Vince and Alvin Williams and Antonio Davis, did they say, "You guys inspired me to play basketball and get me to where I am today"?
Well, you know what? That's funny you should ask because that's one of the main things that they talk about. And I during NBA Summer League, I'll give you a quick story. I'm there. I did NBA player development with NBA staff for the entire Summer League. Been doing it for about 7 years. And this year, Nick Stauskas. You know, I'm watching him play for Sacramento, and I'm at the game, and I was at the championship game. I watched him throughout the summer with Andrew Wiggins and and Nick comes up to me after the game, and he said, JYD, I know you don't remember this. He said, but do you remember meeting me at the Denny's when I was like 8? I was like, what? No, he's like, man, you took the time to sign my autograph, take a picture with me, and you told me I was going to be a great basketball player. Now he's hitting half-court shots for the league during summer league, and that's Dog Pound member Nick Stauskas. You're getting a shout-out right now from the Dog. Sacramento Kings, let's do it. That's how we're doing it. And we're just, you know, it's just fun, like things like that, you know, that just give me, you know, goosebumps when I think about the type of players that are coming out of Canada and, you know, people that I've, you know, rubbed or touched or, you know, just had a kind word to say, you know, back in the day. Right. That's now saying, man, you know, that helped inspire me to do what I do. You know, it's those little sprinkles here and there that, you know, you never know where it's going to land and grow some roots.
Yeah. Sure. That must be really rewarding. Like you're a dad, right? You have what, 4 kids?
That's right.
And so it's good to be like, is it good like for your kids when they grow up, like they have a good role model like you, and like how rewarding is that being like a positive role model for the kids and continue to do that year after year? Well,
you know, it's more important than, you know, I think that role models are far and few between. But those of us that can stand out there and really strive to help parents and help families to have somebody that they can point to and say, hey, you know, this guy is a good guy, is an honor. And you don't want to take that lightly, and I certainly don't. And I take a lot of pride in making sure that fans have something to, you know, smile about. Right. And with the NBA giving me such a great opportunity and a platform at a young age, and then throughout my whole career, had a lot of support from fans, and fans make the game. You know, players are always going to play the sport. You know, there's hundreds of millions of basketball players playing basketball right now all over the globe. The difference between an NBA player and those people that play are that we have fans. We have people willing to pay money to see us do what we do. And a lot of that has to do with talent, but again, it starts with people willing to pay and willing to support and buy jerseys and headbands and socks and Dog Pound bark biscuits. It's all that stuff, right? That give us the opportunity. So I always tell players and families, that's why it's so important to give back, because without giving, you're never going to receive.
Now, you have such an interesting and unique perspective on the game and also the Canadian basketball scene. So, you know, you played with Vince. You saw how crazy Air Canada Centre was, you know, back when you guys made it, you know, to the second round of the playoffs. Yes. And now the next crop of the Toronto Raptors are trying to do that same thing. Got to the playoffs last year, you know, an amazing 7-game series against the Brooklyn Nets. And, you know, it's just building again. What are if any, similarities or differences between the playoff run and the fan, you know, excitement from that time compared to, you know, what we just had this past spring?
Well, the biggest difference, I can tell you right now, and this is a shout out to all my Jurassic Park fans out there. Dog Pound's Jurassic Park, I think we would have just crashed through the glass back in the day. So that's one of the biggest differences. I mean, the only team in franchise history of the NBA to have an outdoor, like, just extravaganza of fans, like the entire game, watching the game. So let's just put that over in the bucket, the JYD Supreme bucket of happiness. That's number one. Number two, the thing that reminds me most of our team and our group and our time period is this group of new Raptors. You got Kyle Lowry, Philadelphia native, Villanova. My point guard went to Villanova, Alvin Williams, if you don't know.
Yeah,
that's right. Shout out to Alvin. There it is. Right. And he was our leader. He was our floor general. And they have now re-signed the floor general of the future in Kyle Lowry. Defender, shooter. He can do it all. Great. Work out with him all summer in Las Vegas, where he chooses to do his thing. So I already know where that's going. Then we got DeMar DeRozan. Has a little reminiscent of Vince Carter.
All-star.
Slam dunk extraordinaire. Sorry, I tried to create a new word right
It's
there.
okay. JYD can do that.
That's right. So you have DeMar, you got Amir Johnson. I mean, come on. He's got some JYD like. Shoots a little more threes. You know, I wasn't a three-point shooter. I just stayed in the lane. I was a paint guy. I didn't want to stretch it, but Amir, he stretches a little bit with the defense. Then you got my young fella, Big Jonas. Valanciunas. That guy right there reminds me he's got a little bit of Antonio Davis in him. You know, not Akeem Olajuwon, but a little bit of AD. So he's got that presence to hold down the middle. You know, and then you got all these new young guys, the inner workings of a great nucleus, bench players, solid, young guys, Terrence Ross and guys like that. So I'm very excited, and they remind me a lot of our team, the excitement that was around our team, because it was about expectations. People expected to win. Even in the playoffs, these are 1-2 point games, you know, in the final 3 games of the series that could have went either way, going up against a highly veteran-loaded Brooklyn Nets. Right. So now, this season coming, I don't think any New York Nets Brooklyn team is going to want to see these Raptors again come playoff time.
Final question for you. This is just something that I like to ask a lot of people that I have a chance to interview. Growing up, you know, basketball obviously was a big part of your life. Sneakers, you know, kind of coincide with that. What were a couple of your favorite pairs of sneakers that you like to wear as a basketball player growing up?
Wow.
Or maybe even in college at Georgetown. Shout out to, Mr. Thompson,
Even
the
going back to
legendary.
Okay, so let's start with Georgetown. My favorite Georgetown kicks were the Jordans. We had the black patent leathers. The 11s when they first came out. That right there is a showstopper for any program, because, you know, when they saw the Georgetown team come on the floor, they're looking at our shoes like, we lost the game. These guys got the Jordan 11s. Are you kidding me? We're the only college team to have them. So shout out to Michael Jordan, MJ, and Georgetown, Coach Thompson. I'll see you guys this weekend. Now, moving on to NBA, signed with Nike, my first deal. And at that time, I didn't have a JYD shoe, so I just created it myself, you know, on top of the Nike brand. So then when I became a Raptor, I signed with Reebok, who then gave me my JYD shoe. So I have to go with those 3 shoes as my all-time favorites. You know, now it's all about these new young guys. You got Derrick Rose, got Kevin Durant, LeBron James shoes, and then you also have those tuck-away Jordans that everybody has to have in their closet, the retros.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Jerome. I mean, it was an absolute pleasure. And you corrected me. It's your 4th time in Halifax.
That's right.
So hopefully we'll be able to make it a 5th very soon. I like it. Thanks for your time.
Pretty cool, wasn't he? Yeah. I agree.
Approved.